This video is to help you improve your IELTS speaking from Band 6 to Band 7 at home without a teacher using only free resources. In this video, you're going to learn how to make a personalized 4-week plan to improve from Band 6 to Band 7. You're going to learn how to stay motivated using one key tip. You're going to learn how to give yourself an IELTS speaking test with useful feedback. And you're going to learn the 4 key activities that you can use to improve from Band 6 to Band 7. There's lots of really useful information in this video, but don't worry, your plan will not take a million years. You can adapt the plan to the amount of time that you have. In this video, you're also going to see lots of links and lots of documents. You can download all of them for free from the free course on the My Exam with Sam website. The link is in the description. And one more thing, for this plan to work, you need to be able to record yourself speaking. Okay, so if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, here's your plan. Thank you, goodbye. No, I'm just joking. This plan is obviously empty. The best plans are personal, so you need to complete the plan. Let me show you how you can do that. In this plan, every week has a focus. It's not the only thing you're going to do that week, but it's the most important thing you're going to do. How can you decide what your focus should be? Of all of the things that you could prepare, vocabulary, grammar, pronunciation, fluency, coherence, ideas, which is the most important for you? Well, to answer this question, you need to do a test and get some feedback. If you do a practice IELTS speaking test, you can see what's good already and what you need to improve. So let me show you how you can do a practice IELTS speaking test at home without a teacher for free and still give yourself useful feedback. Step 1 is to find some sample questions. You can use the websites IELTS Liz or IELTS Buddy. These have good sample questions. And for part 1, you want to select 3 to 5 topics, select 1 part 2 question, and select 1 part 3 question. Your part 2 and part 3 questions should be related. The topic should be similar in part 2 and part 3. For example, in this part 2, I'm asking a question about a teacher, and in part 3, the questions are all about education. Step 2 is to answer and record. Press record on your recording device or your phone, and make a friend ask you the questions, or just ask them yourself. Then give your answers. Step 3 is to give yourself some feedback. In the exam, there are 4 criteria that the examiner will use to assess you. Here is a super quick version of the speaking criteria. First is fluency and coherence. This means how much do you hesitate and repeat yourself, and are your ideas clear? Second is your vocabulary. How varied and specific is your vocabulary? Third is your grammar. How varied and accurate is your grammar? And fourth is your pronunciation. How close to a native speaker are your intonation, sentence stress, and your pronunciation of individual words and phrases? It takes a lot of time to really understand these assessment criteria. But you can cheat and do this a little bit quicker by watching some Band 7 model talks on YouTube and then answering this key question. Overall, how do you compare to the Band 7 model videos? And then answer these 2 other questions. Which area is the most different? So your grammar, your vocab, your pronunciation, or your fluency and coherence. And which is the closest? So which area is the most different to Band 7? And which area is the closest? You can find some links to some model talks that I recommend in the links document. The area that is the most different will be your focus for the first week. So you have your focus. Now we need to plan some activities that you can use to practice during the week. This is where a lot of IELTS candidates make that one big mistake and they lose their motivation and they don't prepare effectively. I see lots of IELTS candidates who spend too much time practicing exam questions. They only do exam questions. So the only feedback that they get is what level do they get in the exam. You're not going to make this mistake. You're going to use specific activities to practice parts of the exam that you find most difficult. And you're going to give yourself feedback on these difficult parts so that you can improve and you can see your progress. This means that you're going to stay motivated, you're going to improve your most difficult parts, and you're going to make progress towards a Band 7 score in your speaking. So here are the 4 activities I recommend to help you prepare your fluency and coherence, your vocabulary, your grammar, and your pronunciation. And I'll explain why these activities will help you move from Band 6 to Band 7. The objective of this activity is to help you speak for more time and to make your ideas clearer. Why will this help you move from Band 6 to Band 7? Well, at Band 6, you speak at length, which means your answers are quite long, but sometimes you hesitate, repeat yourself, or lose the point in your answer. At Band 7, you speak at length and it's a little bit easier. There's less hesitation, less repetition, and you don't lose the point, so your ideas are always really clear. So this activity is going to help you speak for longer, and it's going to help you speak clearer and with less repetition and hesitation. Here's how you can practice with this activity to move your fluency from Band 6 to Band 7. First, select a Part 1, 2, or 3 question. Then press record and give your answer. So it was actually pretty nice growing up in the place where I grew up. When you finish, press stop. How long is your answer? 21 seconds. Take another question. Try and speak for just 5 seconds more. Normally this means adding just one more phrase. If you need a connector, then perhaps start with and, if, so, but, or because. 27 seconds. Nailed it. Now for the most important part, the feedback. Here are some questions that you can use to give yourself some really good feedback. They're all about your fluency and coherence. So it's about speaking for longer, it's about using connectors to improve your coherence, and it's about being aware of what makes you hesitate, repeat yourself, or lose the point. If you want to make this activity a little bit more difficult for yourself to increase your level, then you could use some different connectors like despite, whereas, although, or if with a third conditional. If you want to make this activity a little bit easier for yourself, then take some time before you answer to very quickly plan a phrase using one of those connectors. Obviously, you want to reduce the amount of planning that you do with time. So over your 4 weeks, plan less and speak more spontaneously. This activity will really help you to improve your fluency and coherence. Let's have a look at the activity you can use to improve your vocab score. The objective of this activity is to steal vocabulary from a native speaker. So you're going to watch a real native speaker in a video, and then you're going to explain the same things that they said using the same vocabulary. Why is this going to help you move from Band 6 to Band 7? At Band 6, you generally have the right words to explain your ideas. But at band 7, you often have exactly the right word. This means that your vocabulary is more varied and it's also more specific. So you can talk about lots of different things using the exact word that you need. And if you want to be able to do this, then you need to be able to steal real vocabulary from real native speakers talking about IELTS topics. And that's what you're going to do with this activity. Let me show you how. First, take a video related to an IELTS topic. You can find a list of suggested websites in the links document. Next, watch and understand the video. Try and find three, four, or five important ideas that you want to explain. Watch it again and get some vocab this time. What vocabulary, what words and phrases are you going to use to explain those important ideas? Press record and speak and explain what you just saw in the video. So in the video I just watched, when you finish, press stop and then give yourself some feedback. But try this same activity for the same video 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, and 1 week later. Can you still remember the vocab that you used? Now, learning vocab is all about remembering vocab and remembering it accurately. So the feedback you want to give yourself is all about the vocab, the accuracy, and which words and phrases you want to remember. When you repeat this activity 1 hour, 1 day, 3 days, and 1 week later, that will give you another test to make sure that you are learning this vocabulary. If you want to make this activity a little bit more difficult for yourself, then try to remember longer and longer phrases from the video. If you want to make it a little bit easier for yourself, then take some notes when you're watching so that you have your vocabulary ready, but when you're speaking, try to speak without reading. This activity will really help you improve your vocabulary for IELTS-related topics in a way that's useful for your speaking. Let's have a look at the activity you can use to improve your grammar from band 6 to band 7 for your speaking. The objective of this activity is to take a variety of band 7 level grammar topics and to give yourself a challenge to use them in your part 1, 2, and 3 speaking answers. Why will this help you get from band 6 to band 7? At band 6, you use a mix of simple and complex grammar, but at band 7, you use a range of complex grammar and it's generally accurate. So this means that at band 7, you need to be able to use lots of different grammar points and your accuracy needs to be quite good. This activity will help you to use that variety of different grammar points. And remember, grammar points is not just tenses, it's not just verb forms, it's lots of different things. So how do you know what these band 7 grammar points are? Well, we can cheat here and use a little list from a high-level textbook. You can find a link in the links document. Here's how you can practice with this activity. First, take 3 part 1 or part 3 speaking questions at random. If you want to practice this activity with a part 2 question, then just take 1 part 2 question. Then select 3 grammar topics at random, and you can check with the exercises to make sure that you understand the topic. And then press record and answer the questions. Try and use 1 grammar point in each question and don't use the same grammar point more than once. So for the first question, you can choose from 3 grammar points. For the second question, you only have 2 grammar points. And for the final question, you must use your final grammar point. When you finish the activity, you can listen to your recording and give yourself some feedback. The feedback is all about making sure your grammar is varied, making sure your grammar is accurate, and making sure that using these grammar points doesn't make you hesitate or slow down. If there are grammar points that you need time to think about, or grammar points that aren't accurate, then these are grammar points that you need to practice with again. And you should also be aware of the grammar points that you're okay with. There's going to be lots of things that you can already do, and you should make a note of these. And yes, you should celebrate that you can use these grammar points correctly. If you want to make this activity a little bit more difficult for yourself, maybe try and use 2 or even 3 grammar points in every answer. If you want to make this activity a little bit easier for yourself, there is an alternative list of grammar points, which is about a band 6.5. So it's in between band 6 and band 7. You can find a link in the links document. So this little grammar challenge will help you improve your grammar for your IELTS speaking. Let's have a look at that final criteria, the activity you can use to improve your pronunciation. The objective of this activity is for you to listen to native speakers and to copy very, 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 very closely, like a mirror, exactly what you hear. Why will this help you move from band 6 to band 7? Well, at band 6, your pronunciation of individual words, your intonation, and your sentence stress are all clear, but maybe a little bit different from a native speaker. At band 7, your pronunciation of individual words, your intonation, and your sentence stress are much more similar to a native speaker. So if you want to move from band 6 to band 7, you need to develop your idea of what native speaker pronunciation is like, and you need to move your pronunciation closer to a native speaker's. This activity will help you hear the pronunciation of native speakers and to copy it, to imitate it, so that your pronunciation is closer to a native and therefore closer to band 7. Let's see what you can do to practice with this activity. First, select a video on an IELTS-related topic. Preferably an interview, because this will be exactly like your exam. People are asking questions and giving answers. Second, watch and understand the video and answer the questions you can see here. This will help you make sure that when you use your intonation and your sentence stress, you're using them for the right reasons. If you want to create a certain emotion or convey a certain attitude, you're using the correct pronunciation features to do this. Now for the technical part of the exercise. Put the subtitles on and press record on your recording device. Go back and listen to a phrase or a short part of the video. Then pause the video, go back to the start of the phrase, mute the video, speak aloud, and copy the intonation, sentence stress, and pronunciation you just heard.
In history,
quote unquote, normal people didn't get tattooed, or especially didn't get heavily tattooed.
Normal people didn't get tattooed, or especially didn't get heavily tattooed. Then stop your recording, listen, and compare. What's the same and what's different? And what can you change to become more like the video?
Noah says for much of American history,
Quote unquote, normal people didn't get tattooed, or especially didn't get heavily tattooed.
Normal people didn't get tattooed, or especially didn't get heavily tattooed. Okay, he says tattooed differently. He's American. Tattooed. How does he say it?
Quote unquote, normal people didn't get tattooed, or especially didn't get heavily tattooed.
Tattooed.
tattoos were
Tattooed. Normal people didn't get tattooed, and especially didn't get heavily tattooed. Okay. Repeat steps 4, 5, and 6. For feedback in this activity, you're going to get lots of feedback from comparing yourself to the recording that you hear from the video. But there are also two really important questions to answer at the end of your activity. If you want to make this activity a little bit more difficult to get your level really high, then try to remember longer and longer phrases. You could also try to predict the pronunciation. So you put the subtitles on, speak and record before you listen, then listen and compare. Was your prediction correct, or are there some pronunciation features that are different? If you want to make this activity a little bit easier for yourself, then you can always have the sound on when you speak. This means that you can very closely copy the sounds that you're hearing. So this activity will help you to develop your sense of a native speaker's pronunciation and to move your own pronunciation closer to a native speaker and therefore closer to band 7. So those are the 4 key activities that you can use to move your vocabulary, your grammar, your fluency and coherence, and your pronunciation closer to band 7. Let's add them now to your 4-week plan. Remember your focus for the week? You want to do the activity that will help with your focus 3 times in 1 week, twice together and once later. This is concentrated practice, and then you will check that you remember later in the week. Then you can complete your plan with other activities to help with other parts of your exam, and then have 1 day for a test and 1 day for a rest, a day off. That's the perfect plan, but I know that real life is more complicated, so don't be too hard on yourself if you can't complete your perfect plan. At the end of each week, complete a test, decide your focus for the next week, and then plan more activities. Keep going and keep practicing. This way, you'll always have a personalized plan that is helping you to move from band 6 to band 7 in your IELTS speaking. So keep practicing and keep going. Click on the link in the description to the My Exam with Sam free course to get all of the resources, downloadable PDFs, and everything you've seen in this video completely for free. And if you found this video useful, then leave me a comment so I know and I can make more videos for you. Okay, I'll see you very soon, guys. Keep practicing, keep going, and enjoy your studying this week. Bye, guys.